Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN SC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined in the studio today by Ali Moreno, and we welcome back Dr. Shaka Hislop is here. Won't shut up about it. Later on in the show, Casey will be here where we talk about Bayern Munich and where they go next after losing Robert Lewandowski to Barcelona. Of course, he's now in the States, in Miami Beach, look, meeting up with his new teammates. And for more on this, let's welcome into the show, shall we? Luis Garcia and Gemma Soler are with us. Before we talk about Robert Lewandowski, Gemma, why are you in a cave?
Because I'm on holidays. I have 4 days off, so I mean, it doesn't look that nice, but I'm in the Costa Brava, which is one of the most beautiful places in Catalonia. I think Lewandowski should come here, even though I think he will be living in the south part, in Sitges, which is also pretty nice.
Yeah, that's the posh bit. That's where Luis used to live. Luis is, of course, in Ibiza. We're here. Good. Right. Who won that lottery? Let's talk about Robert Lewandowski. Gemma, the excitement around this signing is justifiably high.
It is very high, and I think we all need to understand it, because Barcelona comes from a terrible year, no title won, and actually, if you think Barcelona haven't got a shiny signing in the recent years, probably the most excitement was about Frankie de Jong. Coutinho, Dembele, let's not talk about the result, but the signing with the most people at the Camp Nou welcoming a player, it was Zlatan Ibrahimovic in the recent years. Because Luis Suarez, he was also great, but when he signed for Barcelona, he was in the FIFA sanction, so there was no shiny presentation. So there is a lot of excitement in the fan base that suffered a lot this last year, and also suffered a lot playing against Bayern, against Robert Lewandowski. So, of course, I think we need to understand that a club that was financially in a very difficult moment, no one was expecting this great signing. The player himself put a lot on his side, pressuring a lot Bayern, and that's why it was possible making this signing for Barcelona. Of course, he always said he wanted to try new leagues, and La Liga is one of the best leagues in the world, and he loves and his family loves Barcelona, loves Mallorca, and this also helped for making the decision to go to Barcelona.
And Luis, I imagine not only the fans are excited, but his new teammates are as well, to have someone of that much quality coming in.
Of course, we are all excited. The ones who follow Barcelona, the ones who follow La Liga, of course, is something very important. A player like him who can add a lot of goals to this Barcelona side, of course, he brings a lot of excitement. And he mentioned it not long ago, he wanted to play for Barcelona, he's been pushing, he was desperate to arrive, and now you can see a very committed player that probably is going to fit perfectly in this style of football for Barcelona. He's going to have players around him who are going to provide him with a lot of good balls. You got Pedri, you got Gavi, De Jong, Busquets, and we are not going to talk about the wide areas with Dembele, Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, Rafinha. So many talents, so much creativity that have to end with him, with Lewandowski. So everybody's very excited. The first of all, it must be Xavi, that he's been very quiet. He's been waiting for the moment to start dealing with this situation, but definitely he must be looking forward to start working with Lewandowski, and of course with the amount of talent that he's got at the moment in his squad. Looking forward to see if he's going to be able to bring back again the trophy that they were missed last year.
Do you like the signing, Chuck?
I do. I mean, how can you not like the signing of Robert Lewandowski, given everything he's done in the game, particularly over the last couple of years, where he just seems to be getting better, even in his slightly advanced age. And listen, I think given some of that success that Barcelona have been starved of over the last couple of seasons, I think there's every reason to be excited about this incredibly talented squad. Maybe needed a leader, a big shining example, and they have that in Lewandowski.
You know who's not excited? Aubameyang. You know who else is not excited? Memphis Depay is not excited.
And Martin Brathwaite.
Who? What?
I don't know.
Yeah. So we talk about the rest of the teammates. Yes, of course, because you know that, and the numbers say it, this is a player who's going to guarantee you goals. If you provide him with service, he's going to score goals. It's no longer a question as to, well, do we create enough opportunities? No. You create one chance, more than likely, he's going to put it on the back of the net. And when you have that in front of you, then it allows you, as a creative player, to take more chances, to know that you don't have to be perfect, that the pass doesn't have to be perfect, that the ball doesn't have to be perfect, because you have a guy that can correct a lot of the wrongs. So for as much as Barcelona will create a lot of opportunities, I think the most important part is that the final touch is coming from somebody that guaranteed, is going to score the chances and is going to score the opportunities. That is something that not many teams around the world have.
Who's your front three, Luis?
Ooh, tough. And I guess that if we're going to talk about the four of us, no one is going to get the same one. That for me, I think Dembele has to be in, Rafinha has to be in, and of course Lewandowski. After that, we can discuss if Ferran Torres on one side, Ansu Fati, if he's fit enough, and Aubameyang. But for me, Dembele, Rafinha, and Lewandowski should start.
Did you say Ferran Torres when we discussed this?
I said Ferran Torres on the left, Lewandowski down the middle, and Dembele on the right. And the reason I say Ferran Torres is because I think he would do a better job of being a second striker alongside Lewandowski if the ball is on the opposite side. Rafinha is more of an outside guy, not exactly a finisher, whereas Ferran Torres will put himself in good positions, not always scoring the goals and scoring the opportunities, but at the very least he can close that space at the back post and be an option inside the 18-yard box.
But don't you want your wingers to be cross them into Lewandowski? Do you need a second striker, a Ferran Torres sort of figure?
Well,
if you could have Rafinha one, Dembele the other.
Dembele will break somebody down the right-hand side. Now he's putting in a cross. Lewandowski's making a run. You need another option.
Right.
If not everybody collapses on Lewandowski and they crowd him out, you need another option. And I think Ferran Torres is a better option there than Rafinha would be.
Gemma, front three?
I'll go with Ferran Torres, Lewandowski, and then Rafinha or Dembele. Changing, it depends on the game, on the rival. Actually, funny thing, I was talking to my colleagues that are shooting the films of Barcelona, and they say that Lewandowski and Aubameyang are talking all the time, making jokes. They met each other in Dortmund, and they have such a good relationship. Maybe the first day we have the official match starting 11, this will end up. But right now, they are apparently very happy to meet each other again.
Ferran Torres, Shaqs? I don't know.
No, I like Ferran Torres.
Why though? City didn't want him. Didn't pull up any trees.
He hasn't pulled up any trees as a finisher. But my impression of Ferran Torres, sitting in a Barcelona shirt, is everything he does up to the box has been simply outstanding. His finishing continually lets him down, and which is why I like him on the left-hand side, being a serviceman for Lewandowski, because I think that's when you've seen the best of him. Through the middle, as the out-and-out goal scorer, I think he's left us with a lot to be desired. But as a winger, you know what you're getting. And at least Rafinha, as exciting a signing as it may be, good for Leeds, but we haven't seen him in a Barcelona shirt just yet.
The other thing is, there is less pressure on Ferran Torres to be the guy who's scoring the goals. Where he had that responsibility at times last season, that responsibility is not quite there. It's now on Lewandowski. People are focusing on Lewandowski.
Got a queue of guys though waiting to take his place now.
Yes, and you know what else is going to happen? He's going to get a lot of tap-ins at the back post.
Right.
Because everybody's going to be attracted to Lewandowski. And while Lewandowski will attract that crowd, that ball is going to roll to the back post, tap in from my kind of range, and all of a sudden, he's got all the confidence in the world, and Barcelona are flying.
To that point, having a queue of players behind you can often bring out the best in some players. And that's the hope here. Listen, you play for a club like Barcelona, you play at that level, Man City included, there's always going to be a queue, regardless of your position. Unless you're a Lewandowski or a Pedro or Gavi, that's part and parcel of wearing that shirt. So it's up to Ferran Torres to respond now.
Who have you got out on the left? Dembele or Rafinha, Luis?
On the left, because I want to be in, and I think that Rafinha can give something different, I will have Dembele. Lewandowski is going to need a player like Dembele to put crosses. We are talking about Ferran Torres. We are talking about Rafinha. We are talking about Ansu Fati or Memphis Depay players or Aubameyang that even for Arsenal play in the wide area at some point. I think that Lewandowski, you need to provide it with crosses, with the good balls in the middle. You cannot have players on the wide areas that are going to start making diagonals. Rafinha is a player who's going to make diagonal. Ferran Torres is going to play, is going to make diagonal. And then you're going to have a center forward a proper center forward without crosses, without balls in the inside the box, because everything that he's going to receive is going to be on his feet. And that's not something that Lewandowski likes to be in front with two defenders in my back and have to turn every single time. So I think it's very important that Barcelona, if he wants to get the best of the Lewandowski, he has to do it with crosses. I'm not talking all of them in the air, but yes, on the ground, to the near post, where he is the best on that, because he reads so well those spaces, the timing. And time in football is the most important. And I think Lewandowski is the best on that. So I think Dembele needs to be playing in one of the areas, for me, on the left, and then leave Rafinha, that is on 1v1 very good, and try to make the best of it.
What may surprise some is that the transfer of Lewandowski hasn't actually moved the needle with regards to Barcelona's odds to win the Champions League. They still remain behind the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool. OK, you can think that. But Chelsea as well are ahead of them, as are Bayern Munich, who have just lost, of course, Lewandowski. PSG third, Real Madrid defending champions are sixth. Barcelona seventh favourites to win the Champions League, Gemma. That seems quite low, doesn't it?
I don't understand probably the Real Madrid position there, but also Barcelona. I mean, I can understand that the failures in Europe have been so huge in the recent years that the people who have to put the money on the bids, that they are not that sure. But we have to see how. But the Barcelona has a lot of powerful youngsters with a lot of quality. They needed end product. They needed quality in the final third. They will be having this season. So I think as soon as they start working, playing, and if the engine that I think it will be working, this probably they will climb some steps. And I'll put Chelsea, I think, a little bit down after for sure Real Madrid and Barcelona, and probably Real Madrid. I'll put it higher, maybe just after Man City.
I'm just sensing just anti-Spanish ways from the bookies, Luis.
It might be. I mean, I'm surprised. Much more is true that for Barcelona, still something that we don't know how they are going to find a way to put all those pieces together. The way Xavi didn't work last year. Now he's got a lot of the different options, but definitely Real Madrid, that is bringing more players, is getting the same thing that they had last year. They won La Liga, they won Champions League, so I'm surprised that it's so far away. I understand that Manchester City have done an amazing job bringing Haaland, of course Liverpool, because the way that they played last year, bringing also Darwin Núñez, Carvalho, they are teams that they're going to be there, but I'm not sure if they are so far ahead than Real Madrid or Barcelona, and much more in Champions League that that in one bad game, you can be out of the competition. So, I'm just surprised. Chelsea, I think, is doing a great job. He's trying to build up again once from the back, signing Koulibaly, signing Sterling, players who are gonna add something else also for this team. So I understand that he's somewhere there. But I think that Real Madrid and Barcelona, I'm very, very surprised they are so far away from Manchester City and the English teams.
What do you reckon? We take all of Shaq's doctor money, put it on Barcelona to win the Champions League, Ferran Torres to be player of the tournament?
Well, you won't lose that. That's a lot of money, first of all. Second of all, no, I would not put Ferran Torres being player of the tournament, but I would say that it doesn't make sense that Bayern Munich is still a better bet, or is still a higher place than Barcelona when you just lost your record-breaking historic goal scorer. That doesn't make any kind of sense whatsoever. As for the case of Real Madrid being as far down as they are, it is obvious that that's a mistake. Real Madrid should be much higher in this list. But Barcelona have given themselves an opportunity to truly compete in the Champions League, where I don't think that was the case for the last couple of seasons.
We'll say thank you very much to Gemma. And I'm fascinated by your cave, Gemma. Can you show us what else is around there?
It's really dark. There are pieces of art. I'll invite you. It's my dungeon. When you come from the opening La Liga game, I'll invite you. It's really nice, but it's very late. It's all dark. So
thank you very much, Gemma. Just a reminder, Extra Time, as always, is available over on our YouTube channel. So how are Bayern going to cope without Lewandowski? Well, they start their pre-season taking on DC United in the game, which is live on Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern here on ESPN+. And for more on that, Luis joins us also with the Bayern Munich team. Casey Keller is in DC ahead of that friendly, ahead of their pre-season camp. How do do you think they're feeling, Casey, given that they've lost their main man?
Well, I mean, it is Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich find a way. I mean, they're very competent in the way they recruit to the side. They do a great job of not having to make wholesale changes. Normally, the game plan is to bring in 2 or 3 main people, knowing that a couple people are probably going to be excess as well. Now, to Ali's point, you lose a guy that every year is giving you 40 goals. You don't replace that with one person. So I think the idea for this Bayern Munich side is they're going to have to share the goals. It's no longer going to be just let's rely on Robert Lewandowski and then go from there. It's going to be a case where a lot of people are going to have to step up and pick up the slack.
Casey, you're going to be talking to some of the players later today. What in particular are you going to be discussing with them?
Well, I think a lot of it is more like a history stuff with what's going on with some of the players. You know, talking to Alphonso Davies and how he's, kind of made his, transition from being kind of like a young kid to then becoming more integral, particularly after the injuries and the COVID stuff. Talking to, Kingsley Coman about, his role and the change of going from a younger player to now being a veteran guy. And what is that role? And how does that role change? Every time an established player kind of leaves, now he becomes more of that veteran player. Hopefully I'm going to have an opportunity to talk to Oliver Kahn and some of the, the issues with losing a player like Lewandowski, and then how do you replace him? And then also some of the issues that just the Bundesliga has with their 50+1 system. And is that a detriment to Bayern Munich in that Champions League? And maybe that's a reason why. Maybe their bookies' percentages are a little bit lower to win because some of the other leagues and some of the other teams have a little bit more of an opportunity to spend that the Bundesliga sides don't.
We'll obviously be hearing those interviews over the next couple of days. Interesting stuff from Nagelsmann talking about Lewandowski's departure. The Bayern manager coming out and saying we have a possibility of building FC Bayern without a striker that can reliably score 40 goals. It's an interesting task for me and my coaching staff, as well as for Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Oliver Kahn. Luis, how much of a game changer is it now for Nagelsmann that he hasn't got that focal point, that number 9, that 40 goals a season man?
I think it's a massive blow for Bayern Munich. They couldn't hold him anymore because he wanted to move, and the only way to find a player like this one is to go to the market. But I'm surprised that they are so confident because it is not easy, and we've seen it when Lionel Messi left Barcelona or Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid. It's not easy to find the act of 40 goals, but not only 40 goals that he scored. Is the amount of assists that he gives, is the amount of chance that he creates, is his presence on the field that creates so much problems to the opponent. And he's not finding it. It's not easy to find something like that on the market. And now you're going to have Gnabry, Kimmich, Goretzka, Coman, all these kind of players that they are not used to score double figures during the whole season to try to push themselves, but still not enough. I mean, you are going to have to find in the market someone who can give you 25 goals to try to kind of equalize what you had before, and still not easy because they are not players like these ones. They are not players that you're going to spend 50 million that can give you 40 goals. You have to find a player that is going to make the perfect season and is going to give you that amount of goals, or find 2 more players who are going to make the perfect season and going to give you 15, 20 goals. That's very, very difficult. So I think that is going to be a moment of transition for Bayern Munich. Of course, in the domestic league, they're going to do well. They got a lot of talent, and of course, they can go through. But in Champions League, I think they're going to struggle once again. They are fantastic, a lot of talent, but not enough to finish probably in the top 4 for this season.
Casey, who do you think he's going to have playing through the middle?
Well, I mean, I think you would assume that it might be a task for Musiala to really have to step up and to kind of be that guy that can come from a little deeper position to help support. Because if the case where Musiala is a little bit back, Sadio Mane will be the guy, maybe playing not a true number 9, but maybe combining with Musiala coming from a deeper position. So it's going to be interesting to see how they choose that. do they go into the transfer market before it ends and see if they can find a true number 9? But I don't think they're going to be able to replicate what Lewandowski's been able to do. So I think it'll be a transition on how they play, and I think that's going to be what Nagelsmann is going to have to try to find out. Can they get Mane in that more advanced position, or will it be somebody else that then you change the complete system because you no longer have that true number 9?
Meanwhile, at the back, KC obviously reports it looks like it's very close to being a done deal. Matthijs de Ligt moving from Juve to Bayern. Bayern haven't had a lot of luck over recent years regarding defenders that they've brought in. Could he prove to be the anomaly to this?
Well, they're going to find out. I mean, there's no doubt about it that they need to clean up themselves defensively a little bit, that they have conceded a lot of goals. Unlike, I think they went through a stage one time where they went a lot of games without a clean sheet, and you just don't expect that from a Bayern Munich, particularly with, how talented they are. You think Neuer at times is going to be able to clean that up, but it wasn't the case. Now, where they benefited was they also went something like 50-plus games without not scoring. So whenever you know you're going to score a bunch of goals, it makes it easier that you might concede at the other end. And, something that I want to talk to Alphonso Davies about is just how high of a line they play and how much reliant on his speed of recovery when that line gets broken. So it will be interesting to see if De Ligt can come in and help stabilize that defensive unit. But when you play that high against some of the talented teams that you're going to play against, particularly in Champions League, you have to assume that teams are going to get in behind you.
You mentioned you'll be speaking to Oliver Kahn a little later on. Some interesting quotes attributed to him regarding Harry Kane. The England captain is certainly someone that Kahn has got his eye on, and he's not hiding it. He's under contract with Spurs. He is one of the best strikers out there, and he's a dream for our future. Now we have to see how to put the team together for the current season, so we will see what happens. Casey, what struck me so much about this quote is about how unabashed he is. Considering everything that's just happened with Lewandowski in Barcelona and complaining about everything there that played out in publicly, Kahn's come out and said, you know what, it's a dream to have Harry Kane here.
Well, you don't think every CEO of every club thinks that it would be a dream to have Harry Kane in their side? I mean, of course they would. So, okay, so you're more public about it. I mean, everybody knows this. I mean, obviously, Man City were very public about it last summer, that they really worked hard to get Harry Kane. It didn't work out. The big question is for Harry Kane, and what are his plans? Can Antonio Conte put together a side that can actually win something? Or has Harry Kane made up his mind that if I go to 1 year left on my contract and it looks like that he could possibly walk away for nothing, can he then put the same pressure on Spurs that Lewandowski put on Bayern Munich to say, hey, look, you might want to get a little something for me now because in 6 months I'll sign a pre-contract and you'll get nothing.
What do you think of this, Luis? If you're in Harry Kane's position and come this time next year when you've just got 1 year left on your contract and maybe Spurs have struggled or not got that trophy that he felt that he could win with them, do you start looking at Bayern as an option?
I think he must be on the table. Harry Kane is mentioning last year and the year before that he might be looking for any different option, that he wants to win trophy, he wants to be challenging for every single competition, and he's been struggling. He always delivered, but I think the team just let him down. So it could be one of the options. I think at the moment that Bayern Munich has a big place up front where a number 9 could be joined, I think it's a fantastic option for Harry Kane to start, but no just waiting for 6 months or 1 year. It could be the right moment to make the chance. I'm not sure if Conte is going to be ready to allow him to go now that they are building a strong team, and he could be facing the likes of Liverpool or Manchester City. Maybe not to win the Premier League, but at least to get in those top 4 positions for Champions League. But I'm not sure, like you guys are mentioning, is going to be enough for him. I think he wants to win trophies. He's been one of the best English strikers for many, many years. And he wants to get some silverware, and probably is the moment that right now to make the move.
It'll be interesting to see what Oliver Kahn has to say to Casey later today. Casey, thank you very much. We'll, of course, be showing you the best of those interviews on the next edition of the show, so be sure to join us. Couple of weeks, and it all starts in Germany. Bayern Munich away against Eintracht Frankfurt kicks off another season of the Bundesliga on ESPN, and like La Liga, every single match available on ESPN+. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen this video that has gone viral. Obviously, Chelsea at the moment are in the States, and someone here offered Raheem Sterling a Manchester City shirt that he refused to sign. What do you make of this, Shaq?
A little childish, a little petulant, but nothing much more than that. I wouldn't have refused to sign it.
No.
I shouldn't.
Reading, Portsmouth, the whole lot.
I'd have signed them all, Dan. I'd have signed them all.
Sign them up.
If you were signing jerseys now, Shaq, would you say Dr. Shaka Hisler? Or you go Dr. Hisler?
Hey, the doctor.
I'm just wondering.
Luis, you had 1 million clubs. Would you have any problem signing Chelsea?
No, actually, listen, Dan, I have signed a week ago in Singapore a shirt of the Manchester United. So, I mean, after doing that, I haven't played for Manchester United ever before. So, that's something that, I mean, every player can make their own decision. I never deny a signature to anybody. If they wanted me to sign in a Real Madrid shirt, I will do it. It's not on me. If they wanted to do it, maybe they can burn it after that, but it's not on me. So, but that's the way it is. If he didn't want it because of something, maybe they say something to him and he didn't like it, or who knows. Well, I just don't see the point to don't sign a shirt for a kid or someone else. If they wanted to do it, you can choose to do it easily.
Oh, I don't discriminate. I'll sign anything.
Right.
No issues
You're walking
whatsoever.
around with a Sharpie. Hello, anyone?
You need me to sign? Do you need me to sign? I'll sign that too.
I'll sign my shirt. I'll take my shirt off and give it to
I'll
you.
sign that.
Meanwhile, Zlatan Ibrahimovic has signed a new contract at AC Milan, a 1-year extension, 41. Zlatan will be. Of course, it's an incredible resume when you take a look at it. Luis, you're only 44. Slacking.
Only 44?
We saw you in the Masters, of course. What was it? Player of the tournament? That bar must have been set very low.
I got somewhere here. My trophy. You wanna show me? Yeah, but still, yeah. But you know what happened? That I'm 44, but the people is playing around me. They are 55. That's why I look so good.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it.
So that's the difference.
Who's the goalkeeper in one of these? It's quite something from Zlatan, considering what he's done, to kind of still have that drive to keep going.
It is. And listen, if there was anybody who's going to do it, you feel it was always going to be Zlatan, just given his own physicality, his mentality around it, and from an AC Milan perspective, you understand wanting some continuity within that dressing room, despite some of the changes that have come. And while he's still there, while he's still an influence on and off the park, it makes sense. If the numbers make sense to AC Milan, it makes sense to keep him around.
Luis, did you say you had the trophy behind you of all the trophies that you've won in your career?
Yeah, but in Ibiza I don't have many. Look, it's this one is.
Oh,
That's the trophy.
It looks like
I put it there just for you guys. I'm showing off. I'm becoming the next
Shaq, is this the same Master Series that you played?
Nope.
Yes, you did. You went to China, didn't you, and played Master Series a few years ago?
That was a long time ago.
Well, you still took part in it.
I don't know.
That's when you dive for a ball and couldn't get back up.
Yes, you looked as good as that goalkeeper did.
I don't. The trophy doesn't look familiar. That's why the trophy.
Well, you weren't player of the tournament.
That's a trophy. It's a new trophy.
Just a reminder, Extra Time, as always, is available on our YouTube channel where the boys stay late to answer your questions. Be sure to check it out. Meanwhile, history made in the Euros today. For more on exactly what happened, an eventful day in Euro 22. Let's catch up, shall we? Kay, Steffi and Danielle.
Thanks, Dan. Well, that's it. That's the group's done, and it's Belgium who squeezed through with France in the end. It was open to all three teams behind France in Group D. Danielle, Steffi, myself, Kay here. Let's just take a look then, shall we, at how the bracket's shaping up now that we know our quarter-finalists. And Belgium will be taking on Sweden. Those quarter-finals get underway on Wednesday with England against Spain. But let's talk about what we saw today from these games. In that game between Italy and Belgium, you had a feeling pre-game, Steffi, that Belgium were going to have a good day. What made you think that?
Well, I just felt like we have two skilled teams, and I felt like that Belgium is going to be well organized and take those not many chances and win this game.
And they did just that. I mean, they were grounded in defense. That's where they were anchored. They kept everything tight centrally. It made it difficult for Italy to play through them. And then when they got the few chances, they made the most of it. Credit goes to the way that they played and showed up today.
While we were doing our coverage today, Danielle, you brought up an interesting point about the fact that Belgium have stood out alongside the likes of an Austrian side as well. Can you go further into that for us?
Yeah, I mean, I think Group A and Group D played out with some similarities in that Norway and Italy, we perhaps thought that they were a little bit better. And, you know, I think in particular back to the thumping of Italy by France, and you thought, okay, France is so great. Well, you know what? Maybe it's just that Italy wasn't quite up to the standard we thought. Same can be said for both Belgium and Austria coming into this tournament. Maybe we didn't give them enough credit and all that they deserved.
So next up for Belgium, it's Sweden. How do you think they're going to do?
They're just going to stick to their game. I mean, they have a really passionate team. They're all fighting as a team. They're not having a big star. I mean, Woolard is the captain, and she's managing much, but it's one team, and they're really fighting, all of them.
Iceland are out, Italy are out. Obviously, Italy, a big disappointment for them and more expected from them. But Iceland, unbeaten, but still out. Danielle, you do feel for them a little bit, don't you?
And especially looking at their first two matches, because I really do feel as if in either of those matches, they could have come away with 3 points. They conceded a later goal after going ahead. And so I think they will be disappointed ultimately walking away. But, I mean, to finish and end in a result where you tie France late, good showing.
We saw the Netherlands manager at the game today, watching France, knowing what his side are up against next. France, that quarter-final curse, can they get past it?
If he takes a chance of changes, you know, let the young ones step in, you know, I mean, why not?
Yeah, how do you see that game going?
I want to love France, and they let you down. I'm sorry. So I'm nervous, but I think it's going to come down to, can France execute? They're maybe not as great as we saw after their first performance. You know, the performances against Belgium and Iceland today, not as spectacular as that initial one. And then what is Mark Parsons going to do in Netherlands? Is he going to have the courage to start some of his youngsters? That is going to be the big question.
Yes, and things are really heating up right now as we head into the quarterfinals. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks very much, guys. What a game. That should be on Wednesday. And just a reminder, a lot more on Euro 2022 over on our YouTube page. As much as we laugh and as much as we'd like to take the mickey, genuinely proud, Shaq.
Yep.
It was really, really cool to see. Obviously, you've given an honorary doctorate at Newcastle University because of your work with Show Racism, the red card. What was really cool was seeing your family there as well. That must have been very... You've got 5 children, of course. It's been awesome.
We hadn't been back to England at all since we left in 2006. So to have all of them there and share in this really special moment made it all the better for me. It was a good week. It was a good week on so many levels.
So freedom of the city and a doctorate now. You're like king of Newcastle.
Inspirational stuff, Shaq.
Yeah.
We should all go back to Newcastle.
Do the show from Newcastle.
See where that brings us.
And as I did when I first saw you today, this is just merely out of respect.
Oh.
It's okay.
No.
I'm not emperor. That's for the emperor.
That's what it feels like.
That's next. That's next month.
Compared to everybody else in this show.
So that's 2 doctors we now have on the show.
Who's that?
Shaka, do you know who the other one is?
I do.
Yeah.
Who would that be?
Sid.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me Stevie. I was going to... That's it. If Stevie's a doctor, I'm out.
Doctorate of Shepherd's Pie. That is it then. That brings us to the end of today's show. Be sure to stay tuned though. Extra Time is next. A lot of questions about Shaq's doctor reign.
This is a surprise.
Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Ali Moreno with us, as is. You're not ordained. What do you call it when you're called a doctor now? What's the actual giving the title? What's the adjective behind it?
Oh, it's Dr. Hislop. Are you not?
Well, it's a touchy point.
Is it? Take us through it.
And it's because academics, people who've done PhDs or doctorates,
Like Sid Lowe.
hate it.
Well-
Hate it when people who have honorary doctorates refer to themselves as doctor.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a touchy issue with them.
So now, where will you refer to yourself as doctor?
No, I won't.
What about when it's necessary?
I'm not sure what you're
For
suggesting.
example, maybe an upgrade.
On what exactly?
And then it'd be classic on the. Is there a doctor on board?
That's the last thing I want. That is the last thing, because I've given you nothing.
But we've had so many questions with this sort of theme. Does Shaq like being addressed with the prefix doctor?
I have not been addressed as such.
Right.
Come to the wrong place then.
Your kids must have laughed a lot.
Oh, my kids are loving it.
Yes.
So I was telling you, we were supposed to come back on Friday.
Yeah.
Flight got cancelled. My kids were like, call them up and tell them you're a doctor.
Dr. Shaka, have you rented your algorithm for Barcelona to balance their books? With all the business they've done this window, only your algorithm is capable of making it make sense.
I kid you not. That takes some doing.
I know, they're impressive, aren't they?
That's very impressive. I don't know. It will come as no surprise to anyone that I switched off entirely for the last couple of weeks.
Oh.
Good to know, Shaq. Well, I'm glad we have you on the show then.
When are you going to switch on again?
well, that is to be determined.
I guarantee you this, the accountant for Barcelona, that guy must be a doctor.
Wow.
Of some sort.
Of something.
Yeah.
Shepherd's pie as well. Even that. But you said Stevie's a Dr. Shepherd's pie. I was going on that.
Welcome back to the show, Shaq.
I was going on that route.
You like Dr. Hislop, Dr. Shaq, Mr. Shaq? How do we go about it?
You can call me Shaka, Ali.
Wow.
Dan.
Thank you.
I'm still
Thank you.
pondering that.
Shut up, Neil. What was your favourite pre-season tour, Shaq?
Favorite pre-season tour? I didn't go on too many, to be honest.
No?
Went to Singapore. That was good. Really,
Who was that with?
Newcastle.
Right.
That was really good. After that, we just stayed in England for the most part, pre-seasons. I don't think I went anywhere else.
Ali?
We went to La Manga in Spain, right? Here's the problem. So it's supposed to be a beach town.
Yes.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
The issue is that we were going there February, March. So yeah, everything was closed.
Right.
The beach, well, not quite what you would want it to be in March. So we were just there for a couple of weeks, training all day, 2-a-days, and then games at night. We thought it was going to be great. It was not.
Oh.
But we thought it was going to be great. It's the thought that counts.
Ali, do you think Messi's struggles in his first season at PSG has to do with his age? The fact that it's his first season out of Barcelona in 15 plus years, or the fact that the system is no longer built around him?
All of the above.
It's Ali's question.
Well, no, but hey, I defer to knowledge,
it's okay.
experience.
It's okay, Ali Jadro.
Age has forced Lionel Messi to change his game,
Right.
to alter what he does on the field. And people still have this expectation of Messi doing the same things that he was doing at Barcelona 10 years ago. Well, that's not going to happen. He still impacts the game. He still changes the game, but from a different position, more of a playmaking role. So people just have to get used to that. As for PSG in general, unless you get the team sorted out behind Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, it really is going to expose whatever they're not doing. Because If you're not able to defend, then you're going to force those guys to be able to score multiple goals all the time. And if it's not happening, then it must be their fault. So people are really focusing on Lionel Messi and the shortcomings of this season, and I think it's an overall issue for PSG.
Shaka, congrats on the doctorate.
Okay, that's why you're not
Thanks,
a doctor.
Dan. Thanks, Dan.
If Neymar wins the World Cup, then according to your criteria for being the best player in the world, does he become a better player than Messi or Ronaldo? He would have won everything there is to win at club level and the World Cup.
No.
Why?
Because I don't think it's in the conversation, which has continually been my point. The conversation is around Pele, Maradona, Brazilian Ronaldo, and Messi.
Okay.
And when you're comparing players of different eras, the default for me is the World Cup. So to that point, Neymar isn't even in the conversation. So no.
Did you include that in your speech?
No.
No. No, we know
My speech was limited. I had to keep it to 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh, did they start playing the music at the end?
Stop.
You're done.
Like at the Oscars. All right. No, but obviously you're critical of Neymar in his documentary. We saw that. And Pogba as well.
Was that a part of the question? That's got nothing to do with the question.
David Beckham's got a documentary coming out. What are you going to say about
It's got
him?
nothing to do with anything here.
Dan,
move on.
Your job is on the line. Ali is taking a penalty against Xhaka in goal. Who are you backing to succeed and thereby saving your job? Oh, Ali. That's a no-brainer.
Well, my feelings are a little bit hurt.
Shaq.
You have to call me doctor.
What?
Right. I've just decided. You can call me Shaka, but after that...
It's a no-brainer, isn't it, Ali?
No. Look, we have established that Shaka in his prime, yeah, he could dive and get 2 balls.
It's a condescending tone already, isn't it?
But nowadays, he just doesn't move very well. Is that fair?
Fairish.
Final point for the panel. Now that Lewandowski is coming to La Liga, who's the best player in Spain and why is it Karim Benzema? Yep.
And I agree, Karim Benzema.
Yeah.
I concur.
You concur? Wonderful to have you back, Shaka.
Thanks, Dan.
Are you here
It's good to
tomorrow
be
as
back.
well?
No, I'm not here tomorrow.
There we are.
We're back to normal.
I'm moving my daughter into university tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Very nice.
One more.
Wait, hello.
Congratulations. One more at the
You're
door.
watching this.
One to go.
Wow, Shaq.
And then my wife and I have decided we're moving house. We're not even telling the kids where we're going. Just leave them on their own.
Where are you going to go?
Well, I'm not telling you.
Will it be closer or further away from work? Because you live quite far away anyway.
I do.
Yes.
I'm not telling you, Dan.
Oh, wow.
I'm not telling anybody.
You could move to Newcastle.
Okay.
You know you can
Well,
have cattle now.
Wow.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, castle.
My
Wander
cattle
around
can
in
graze anywhere.
Will the new house have AC?
Wrap this up, Dan.
All right. Bossy, isn't it? So he's saying.
I've got doctorly things to do.
Well, yes, we have. Right, let's move on.
Please help us.
ESPN FC back on your screen tomorrow. Maybe the Doctor of Shepherd's Pie.
What knowledge, what experience.